guys, I'm back. I'm back. Yeah, that was interesting. That was very interesting. Get my life killed by the algorithm overlords. It was awesome. Awesome. Replay Crew Volume 2. Welcome. Live chat. Let's see. There we are. There's Justin. So I'm speaking truth. So then they can, take me out. My internet did not drop. My internet did not drop. Bad Dream, welcome back. My internet did not drop, folks. My internet did not drop. So when I speak truth, welcome back, Robert. When I speak truth, they don't like it. So they go, because the internet did not drop. Cute, huh? Yep, they decided, oh, that's a little bit too much metal. We're gonna smack a pee-pee. We're gonna smack a pee-pee. Well, I'm on 5G. Mainly, welcome, sir. You just missed like the whole fun portion of the stuff where I got my pee-pee smacked. It was great. It was great. These guys got to witness it too. It was awesome. Anything technical just keeps playing with me and having fun. Y'all are witnessing it. Y'all are witnessing it live, real time. Mainly, I was speaking too much truth about what is going on in the world and such, like I often do. And the overlords didn't like it so much, so they froze my feed. My internet connection is still up. Like, oh yeah, I'm still connected to internet. On the phone, I'm 5G. I'm not through the internet. So, or through our Wi-Fi or whatever. But yeah, I spoke a little bit too much truth, and they did not like that because we can't do that. I was talking about the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, talking about the Bill of Rights and how people are not leaning into the Bill of Rights and how we don't pay attention to the Bill of Rights and said things. And they didn't like me talking about the Constitution. So they said I was being bad. So then they started buffering my live. And yeah, didn't like it. And I'm wearing Boondock Saints shirt today. So, you know, of course. Yeah. F those overlords. But yeah, I'm back. You're not going to get a strike on that video. You won't get one on that video. I've gotten my first smack here months ago when I very first tried my very first live stream. Some of you guys might have been there to witness it. I grabbed my DMR rifle because a question came up about the scope. And I grabbed the scope and was holding the rifle and was talking about the scope and blah, 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 blah. And with the red dot and how I work with those. And yeah, they didn't hit me for holding that. Whenever they hit me for it, they took a screenshot of my live and they showed my SIG rifle that was leaning up against the wall behind me that I can't even touch from here. They said that was the one that was not the one that I was holding, but the one that was behind me was the reason that they killed my live and was suspending my account. Okay, I'm tracking. So I took the screenshot. I took Arvin, welcome. Took the screenshots, submitted appeals and all this and all that and so on and so forth. And mainly years ago, about would have been about 11 years ago, maybe. A buddy of mine and I went out to the desert when I still lived in Washington, 11, 12 years ago, something like that. And he went live on his phone as we were shooting into the desert, into the backstop. We were out there shooting the AK, the SKS, shooting in ARs and all that kind of stuff, and pistols and everything else. We had a bunch of like reflectors from like satellite dishes out there we were shooting and stuff. We were live. We were live streaming that. No problem. No problem. Like, I've watched live streams of guys. Tanks are not tough. Welcome. I have watched live streams of guys at like machine gun shoots and stuff like that. Guys are there. Brrr. That's fine. That no. But no, God forbid. Everything's condition zero clear, everything. God forbid you have any kind of education on different things like that. No, can't have that. Can't have that. The crown does not like it. Therefore, ye plebes shall not do. Okay. Yeah, I know they did that to Prepared C. They did they did him real dirty on that one. Because I think I remember the live that they were like they tried to smack him on, and it was like he was just sitting there at the desk with the microphone and had his drink, and he never got out of the chair, and all of his stuff's mounted to the wall like mine is in the back. You know, they're just being peckerish, just being peckerish. But no, in episode 63, um, really seriously, Josh got shut down for an 1800s musket. Toy gun for the duck hunt game. Like I'm half like terrified of grabbing my trainer pistol when I'm talking about different things. Obviously, we all know it's an orange gun. It's a trainer pistol. It has nothing to. It's not. Doesn't even have a barrel. It doesn't have mechanisms. It's literally like a piece of wood or hard plastic inside with rubber over it. It's not even a real device. Like, it's a bludgeoning device, but so is what Girth Brooks and Johnny Depp carry around with them. I can cause more damage with those things than I can with that. Yeah, if you're welcome back, twin. Yeah, if you're I'm half tempted not to say this, but I'm going to try and say it in a way that they don't get their butt cheeks tight. I mean, I got them powder right here, but they never asked for it. Idiots. If you are a little G sponsored influencer, whether it's on Instagram, Facebook, here, Twix, wherever, if you're a GSI, then you can get away with stuff. You can do whatever you wish. But if you're just a normal channel, no, 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 no. Yeah, twin, I got my pee pee smacked. I got my pee pee smacked because I was speaking too much truth at the time. So they froze my live stream up, but my internet was still going. My internet did not drop. My internet did not drop. Obviously, I'm just sitting here. I have my drinks right here, got my chew right there, my spitter, my microphone, my laptop, and my phone and such. But they didn't like the truth I was speaking about the First and the Second Amendment. I was going to get into the third and like continue on with the Bill of Rights today. However, they decided to go. Eh. So, as I lost the cap, I lost the cap to my Sharpie or my, yeah, it is a Sharpie highlighter. And it went. Eh. But Yeah. Glory, welcome, sir. Yeah, they didn't like me today, so it's okay. That's okay. They don't have to like me. I am inevitable. I will show up somehow, some way. I'll be the drizzle. I'll be the drizzle. I'll be the one that doesn't necessarily rain on their parade, but I'm going to drizzle on them and I'm going to make them uncomfortable to do certain things and so on and so forth. Not a full on rain or a torrent or just a mist. No, I'm going to be the drizzle. I'll be the drizzle to those overlords at some point. So yeah, we have the algorithm overlords shutting down my life for speaking truth when I'm literally just talking about the Bill of Rights. Literally, I was talking about the Bill of Rights and how it applies to current times and how the little G decided that they don't need to follow any of that. They're not here for any of that nonsense. Robert, you're not even kidding, dude. Like, what was it, Friday night? I was watching ACR's live and I went to set down my phone and I bumped it and like the next video, like it scrolled to the next live stream that was going and it was some, I think maybe it was a dude made up like a chick cosplaying type thing with devil horns and all kinds of makeup and like prosthetics in use, if you catch my drift with what my hands are doing, and still had some stubble, didn't clear all the stubble out. And it was like, are you kidding me? Like, that's like just right there. I'm like, nah, get away from that. That's fine. That's fine. We can do all that kind of stuff. We can do all the drugs and all that kind of stuff and nasty stuff. Gravewalker, welcome. Yeah, the Chinese broadsword. I have had that thing for a long time. I think it was like Bud K buy back in like 2001 or something. 2001 or 2002. I bought that. It's a cool little piece to have, but is it practical? No. It's just cool. I got a lot of stuff like that's practical. It's practical. No. Is it cool? Yeah. The one that I really love is right there, right here. I'm not gonna grab it, but this one that I'm tracing right here with the big old Bowie knife. My daughter got me that. Um, it's like a limited edition thing. I went and I had it laser sharpened, and it just hangs up there as a display because my daughter got it for me, and I love it. Green case gang twin. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Glad it'll be there for you, get you all protected. Same with Mama Bear. But I did pick up an item here that I'm going to talk about here on the live today. I might do a video on it, maybe. I don't do many videos anymore or any videos anymore. Just kind of do the lives. But no, I picked up this piece of kit because I've been looking for something. The axe, my Viking axe, double dragon. I painted it black and then I antiqued it, wrapped the handle with tape and stuff like that to give it a little bit better grip. Put like a little wrap around it to get like some extra meat there. And then I antiqued it and I put the Viking runes around it. Hi, Mama Bear. Hope you're having a good day, my lady. When I was talking to Twin yesterday about the whole green case thing, she's like, "Well, does she need one too?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I think." And I asked Twin, and he said, "Yeah." She's like, "Well, you're hooking my girl up too, right?" Yes, sir. And shepherds we shall be for thee, my lord, for the power hath descended forth from my hand. feet may swiftly carry out thy command, so we shall flow a river forth to thee, and teeming with souls shall it ever be. Nomine Patri et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. I can do the entire like courtroom scene too, so I'm not even going to go there today. But yeah, I am a huge Boondock Saints fan. But yes, that axe was really cool. I got it many years ago. I think I got it when I was like 18 or 19 or something like that. And I've had it, and it got some rust and some patina stuff going on with it. So I cleaned it up and then did the antiquing on it and stained it up and then put the Viking runes on it. The Aquitas Veritas. Yep. Which I have the whole prayer on the back of the shirt, but I also have a shirt that has the cross and it has Aquitas Veritas on it. My wife had made for me many moons ago. And people see it and they're like, huh? They don't think anything of it, but I know. I know. I'm going to be wearing a shirt for Whiskey Wednesday this week that is a special shirt as well. And I'll see if anybody picks up on the shirt and what it says. And then I'll show the back of it at that point on Whiskey Wednesday, which we have a guest coming in this week. And I will definitely do that, Mama Bear. And yeah, we got a special guest coming on this week. Might be somebody you know, but I seriously doubt it. Seriously doubt it. It's going to be a new guest, kind of like Mando was. I've talked about Mando before, but this guest, he actually does have a YouTube channel. A couple guests that I'm trying to bring on have YouTube channels, but you guys necessarily wouldn't know their channel. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But they're local homies of mine in my inner sanctum. I love them dearly. They are great dudes. They have great channels, and the next one I'm hoping inspire him by coming on Whiskey Wednesday to do more with his channel. He is a very busy guy, works basically 2 full-time jobs, plus he has a home and got married in the last couple years. Funny enough, his wedding anniversary is the same as their wedding anniversary is the same as ours. But he's working around the house, redoing stuff and projects and so on and so forth. Plus, he still goes out and trains. He does all the Minuteman stuff. He is very into comms. He is very good with comms. If I have questions about something, he's my local go-to guy. He has been called Mini-Metal over the years because he's one of those dudes that at any given point he can be in my head and know exactly what I do or what I'd say in those instances, in different aspects. So I have not watched Boondock Saints or All Saints Day in a minute, but no, I can roll with it. I was joking around with my wife. She gets emotional at times, and she was it was one of those things, talking to the kids about life and so on and so forth, and she got a little choked up, and I was like, "Ah! Shh, Romeo's crying again. Did that just fucking happen?" Yeah, with the cat. And it wasn't even a 320. Weird. Weird. It wasn't even a 320 that went off and killed the cat. But he still in the end got to say, "Thanks for coming out. Here's to you, Greenlee." I also like the strip club scene whenever they go in and do the thing, and then Rocco's over there doing a little squeeze. And they're like, "Rocco, what are you doing?" He's like, "I'll tip her." I lost my shit when I saw that. You know, I wanted to watch Fury for a long time, and just I think it was this past winter, we ended up watching it. Another good one was the one with Mr. Garfield. Andrew Garfield plays Spider-Man. Second Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland. He's the middle Spider-Man. Um, what was it called? I cannot remember it for the life of me. I'm going to the computer because I can't remember, and I'm not one to not know something. I will research it. I will look it up. The Pitbull's Rocco after the movie. Dude, that's such a cool name for a dog. Wow. That's crazy. Let me try this. Hacksaw Ridge. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Pat. I could not for the life of me remember that. Yeah, I didn't care too much for the ending of Fury either. Hacksaw Ridge, I love that movie. Um, Great movie. And we were talking about movies on ACR's Live the other night, and so, but yeah, love Boondock Saints. Love that. The continuation is supposed to be coming, the third movie or whatever, supposed to be coming out, but it's been supposed to be coming out for like the last 10 years. Like, Troy Duffy should have got off the pot, dude. Norman Reedus and, Sean Patrick Flannery aren't getting any younger. So now they have Romeo, since they don't have Rocco anymore. They got Romeo, and, you know, they had a Julie Bench, which her character was really cool. And I mean, she's not bad to look at either. But I mean, she walks out onto the pier and there's Agent Smecker sitting there fishing, and he's not getting any younger either. We need to do something with this, guys. We need to do something with it. I have not seen Reservoir Dogs. Um, Justin, I have seen all the Venom movies. Um, it's still open ended. It's still open ended. So Venom could return. If you remember the little bit of symbiote that attached itself and kept going, that was Venom. Yeah, it's there's still a potential there where Venom can come back. Yeah, I will end up watching Reservoir Dogs one of these days, but I just haven't done it. Yeah, I was not happy to see Rocco go in that movie at all. Like, I loved Rocco. He was hilarious. The guy is actually a really good actor too. There was something else I saw him in, and I'm like, man, he is like really good, but he doesn't get any like roles or anything. I don't know. But I did say here earlier on that I did get a new piece of kit that I kind of want to talk about today. And like I said, I might do a video on it. I might not. I feeling cute might do a video. um, Robert, I understand that, dude. Um, yeah, I've watched it many times. Kind of like the opposite thing, like the bad memories and stuff. But I've kind of like forced it through, and yeah, watching Black Hawk Down has really actually done the opposite for me. It's kind of I thought it was gonna bring the bad memories, and it did it first. But the more often, every time I watched it was less and less. I still remembered, I still see it, I still deal with that, but it's nowhere near as bad as what it used to be. So, this piece of kit that I'm gonna bring up here is something I've been thinking I need to get for a while. I have a video up here on the channel of my EDC sling bag that I carry like utility stuff in and everything else for like EDC things, like extra my radios, extra batteries, cell phone charger, different cables for different cell phones. I carry an iPhone, I carry a Type C, and I carry a micro USBs. Sharpies, medical in there. I carry a small utility multi-tool in there. I carry fixed blade with flint and striker. I carry different medications in there. I carry a bandana. I carry. I've done the video on it. It's all out there. All the different stuff I carry in there. Flashlight, screwdriver. I mean, I carry all that kind of stuff in there. But the wife and I had talked here briefly, maybe. Wife and I are looking at buying a spider. We went yesterday and we met with a spider, one of the Can-Am spiders. Yeah. Went on a motorcycle ride with my brother here a couple weekends ago before I got sick. And he took his 900 Suzuki and I rode on his Yamaha Zuma little scooter thing. Wife on back with me. We just went for a ride. She's never ridden like that. I've never had a passenger. I don't have a motorcycle license or permit or anything. I only learned how to ride dirt bikes and quads when I was like 18 or 19 and when he showed me. When I speak of my brother, he is my best friend of like going on 40 years. And he's not my actual blood, but you know how that goes. He's my brother. His son is my nephew. I was his godfather. I mean, we are family. His family was my second family growing up. He's always been into bikes and stuff and got me into it when I was like 18 or 19, but I hadn't ridden for many years. And he's like, hey, let's go on a bike ride. I'm like, okay. So we went. Um, Decided like, okay, this is cool. I'm having fun. This is awesome. Got my wife on the back, so on, and I'm trying to be like hyper focused. And I know some of you guys ride, and I'm trying to be. I'm not experienced, so I'm like trying to be focused on what I'm doing, how I'm doing this, how I'm doing that, because I got precious cargo with me, and so I'm like, I know she's scared, so I keep trying to talk to her and stuff and get her through it. We us military guys have ways of dealing with things to get people through stuff. Gravewalker, thanks for stopping in, man. Take care. We'll catch you on the flip side. We'll see you again. Tune in Wednesday at 7 Eastern for Whiskey Wednesday with ACR and a special guest. So I'm trying to take and do this ride and get her back with her enjoying herself and not hating it. I get back and I'm like, okay, babe, I know you were scared, but how was it? She's like, okay, I could do that. I was like, well, what would make it better for you, more enjoyable for you? She said, if we had more machine and more wheels. I said, okay, check this out. I pulled up a Can-Am Spider on my phone and showed her. She's like, okay. And Jim, my brother's like, hey, yeah, that's going to be stable. Like, you just sit there and you ride it. It's almost like riding a quad. I'm like, but you get the feel of the bike. He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. Jackson, welcome, brother. Good to see you, my friend. So I said to her, Pilgrim, welcome, sir. Y'all are showing up right now. Good time. You missed the first live, which I got my PP smack for, which I'm sure it'll post up. So you get to watch that until it dies, and then you get to pick up over here on the second one. Totally stupid. I got my PP smack for speaking truth and talking about the Bill of Rights. But like as we get older, we're able to sit. We're not gonna be doing the lean thing, and she doesn't understand the lean thing yet because she's brand new to it. So to get her comfortable with riding, I'm willing to go 3 wheels. Perfectly fine. But there's actually added benefits to it, which I found out yesterday. I told her, I was like, well, maybe I'll get something like I know Prepared Citizens, Jay, has a Grom, a Honda Grom. Great little bike, really cool little bike. Get the feel, get myself going, so on and so forth. I'm like, okay, I'll go with Grom. And then whenever the time comes that we buy the Spider, then I'll retire the Grom to being just my little puddle jumper bike and, whatever. maybe put some different tires on it and take it off-road kind of deal. Well, after visiting with the Grom yesterday, I realized it's not going to be as off-roady of a bike as I thought it would be. So we're going a different way because of information gathered yesterday while we were at the cycle shop here fairly locally. It is a long-standing cycle shop. They have been around for a very long time. They're very well respected and reputable cycle place. I say cycle place because they're not just a dealer. Big Bearded Warrior has made it about 5 hours from Texas. You're getting there, brother. You're getting there. You're getting there. I'm surprised my phone ain't rang for you to shoot the shit while you're driving. That's a long drive from Cheese World down to Lone Star State, let me tell you. But I was like, okay, I'll go Grom, but then I was checking it out and I'm like, that's not going to work for what I need. Come to find out, here in the state, I can actually get a 3-wheel license, and most of the time, 99.9% of the time, if you have some type of endorsement on your license here in the state, cops don't even care. They're like, whatever. So I can actually look at not even worrying about getting a Grommen to get my license. I can actually get the 3-wheel and roll with it and get a 2-wheeler later. My thing was I wanted something to do street and trail that I could take off-road and do all the Minuteman cool guy shit with, but have the capability to run it back and forth to work and save on gas. Have the ability to pop down over the hill and grab a 6-pack, throw it in a backpack, and come home. Run up to the tobacco shop and get chew and cigars and stuff. Pop down to the state store, grab a fresh bottle for Whiskey Wednesday, whatever the case. I wanted to have something like that I can use multi-purpose. Now, the Grom wasn't going to fit that need. I found another bike that is, and it's a street and trail, and I really freaking like it. It felt nice. It was almost like it was made for me personally. I know some people may not like them. They may have an extreme hatred for them. They may have an extreme love for them. I don't know. It just fit me. Was the Kawasaki KLX 300. That thing is sick. Sick. I'll get there in a second, Robert. But that KLX 300 was amazing. The 650 was a little bit too big for what I'm looking for. Okay? I like the 650 and it's got a lot of cool stuff to it. But I think it's too big for what I need for where I need it. We have a lot of tight spaces. I don't think it's going to fit up here in these mountains. Whereas the 300, I'll be able to juke and jive as I need on the trails, while I'll still be able to drive it back and forth to work in the summertime and do all my little bebopping around, my little scootamaloo, right? Now, that all being said, we found perfect the one that's going to fit us as far as the Spider goes. It's an RT. Yeah, I know, Pat. But they had the RT there that was a Sea to Sky edition. It's like literally hooked up. As I'm going through everything Can-Am offers on the thing, it's ACR's back. Welcome, welcome. The Sea to Sky RT is limited, and it has literally every accessory. As I'm going through everything Can-Am has to offer for all their bikes, there's very few things they offer for that bike because it already has most of the crap with it. The only thing that we'd really need to get is a set of helmets that have Bluetooth between us, and I'd need to get potentially like a driver backrest. I don't necessarily think I'd need one. I might get one down the road after I get some time on it. And a trailer. with the trailer hitch for it. They can haul up to like 500 or 400 pounds in the trailer. So I'm like, okay, if we have something like that, yeah, granted, I could run it back and forth to work, but I'd rather take the smaller bike since it's just me on that at that point. Can-Am offers $500 to whoever is purchasing a Can-Am, whether it's a Riker, it's a Spider, whatever. If you do their online safety course, they will give you $500 if you do it online and do the in person they have set up for whatever. So they do have one around my area that I can go and do the in-person safety course where they give you a Spider to drive around and they teach you and so on and so forth. Now the Riker is the small one. It's like the sport bike. It's like the crotch rocket of the three-wheel world. It is smaller. It has a 600 Rotac motor in it, or 600 Ace or something like that. It is like the speed bike. It's the little crotch rocket single. You can sit two people on some of them, some of the models, but it's not necessarily designed for a two up. It's designed for one person just ripping and going. Whereas the Spider, it has, you can one up or two up most of them. The F3s, Archangel, welcome, brother. The Spider, you can two up most of the models and you can set them up. They're basically like, when you get into like the RTs, they're pretty much like the Gold Wing, so to speak, of the three-wheel world. There is another model that I think is actually really cool, but I think it's very overpriced. I think everything's overpriced, but there's another model that is called the Canyon, and it is the street and trail version of the Spider. And it is more squared off. It looks like it. Go to the Google machine and look up a Can-Am Canyon. Those things are pretty sick, but it's not going to be conducive for what I want to do with it. But yes, they will do a safety course and a rider course for the Can-Ams and give you $500 towards your purchase. Basically, that pays for a helmet. But anyway, so we're looking at doing something like that. And I'm thinking, all this long-winded thing about the bikes and the trikes or the three wheels or whatever, just to get to the thing of the gear. So I got to thinking, my ADC sling pack, it's multicam and so on. I just throw it in the back seat of the truck. I want something that's going to be a little bit bigger, so to speak, and allow me to carry all my pertinence if I'm just riding the bike, right? Not necessarily a backpack. I'm going to get a backpack for riding so I can take stuff and have stuff when I'm riding like the KLX 300. But I needed something a little bit bigger to substantiate the things that I would carry. You know, you're close to Texas when all the food advertising is barbecue. That's, yeah, that or Mexicano. But yeah, I drank a Fago yesterday, so so I'm using it as a spitter today. So I got this sling bag. I got a new sling bag. This one is made by Rebo Tactical. I think it was like lightning deal, like $20 on Amazon. I'm not hating it. Just looking at it, it's still got the tags on it. I have yet to do anything with it. But it has a bigger pack for me to use. I also have noticed this, like, basically about the same layout as what my other one is for the most part, even with this panel in the back, but it's got a grip texture to it, as y'all can hear me scratching on it. But it has this pull out, and inside here, y'all can see the change of color here. This, where I'm touching right here, is Velcro, and this is like a plasticky, neoprene kind of vibe to it, right? So you could conceivably put one of those Velcro holsters in there. I don't use it that capacity. I normally put a TQ here and my fixed blade knife and maybe a bandana in the bottom. Quick, easy access to get to it. I have my little boo-boo kit hanging from one of the D-rings on the bottom. I think this thing is going to be better for me for whenever I am riding a bike, that I can take it and I can carry more items easy versus what I carry now. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Justin, you out, buddy? Take care, my friend. We will catch you here on the flip side. So this pack has some cool features. I'll probably get into it with a full video, but I will say one thing is the strap is a lot bigger, a lot thicker. It's padded, has some D-rings, has some molly on it, some pass-throughs on it, but it also has this other little strap here at the bottom that clips in to the main strap, so it's like a upside down Y. I don't know if I like that or if I hate that yet. The jury's out. But I will say the grab handle is actually like a neoprene kind of vibe to it, and it's padded, a little bit more of a substantial handle, and it does have like double and triple stitching in this Revo. I've seen many Revo packs on the Amazon machine, and I wanted to check them out. This is my first one that I have picked up. And it came with the American flag, and as always, I fly it upside down because we are a nation in distress. But I'm going to get this thing out, and I'm going to see how well it does. And I'll let y'all know. For 20 bucks, I'm not going to pass it up. So all of that to say, I got a new piece of gear that I'm going to be using for bike riding whenever the time comes. And I've tried to talk the wife into maybe doing some touring once we get the Spider in the nice months. Hence why I like the trunk in the front, the rack in the back with the cover, the big thing on the back. It's got 2 saddlebags. One I am going to dedicate specifically, probably the right back side. I'm going to dedicate that saddlebag. It's a hard saddlebag case. I'm going to dedicate that to the gear for the bike, 3-wheeler, whatever you want to call it, for the Spider. That is going to have like jumper cables, first aid kit, the tools, the EDC type stuff for the bike is all going in that one. Why that one? Because I pull off the road to that side. That's the side I'd be accessing for any tools or whatever, any gear I would need out of that bag. It's going to be away from traffic. I'll at least have the bike between me and them. So, wait, what? I got to scroll back through the chat here for a second. 72-ounce steak. Woohoo! It sounds like my typical Friday. This past week, we grabbed steaks were on sale at our local butcher here, so we ended up grabbing a couple T-bones and a couple porterhouses. He cut my wife's right around an inch for her T-bone and her porterhouse. Then he cut mine like about an inch and a half, and I wasn't hating it. I smoked that thing. Oh my God. I was cutting it with my fork, man. It was delicious. Delicious. I can put down some steak. I am a carnivore at heart, after all. So I wanted EDC, welcome, brother. I wanted to actually have this live today and go on and specifically cover the Bill of Rights in the Constitution. However, the algorithm overlords did not want me to do that today. Okay. I'm tracking. So what I'm going to do is I am going to do a dedicated podcast on Spotify instead, going over the Bill of Rights of our Constitution. And EDC, that's the Second Amendment's going to get talked about in there, bruh. So I started talking about, and I only got to the Second Amendment here today, oddly enough, until they started like really. They didn't. My internet didn't cut out. It was this platform that decided to take a big deuce on me. It just totally dropped a big old taper snake right on my desk. And when I refer to a taper snake, I hope y'all understand what I mean by a taper snake. So, yeah, I'm going to dedicate a podcast to the Bill of Rights. I mean, I have like a pile of freaking pocket constitutions over here. I picked up from like our local Republican committee office, whatever, during election time. I was like, hey, do you guys got a bunch of those I could get? They're like, yeah, here. And they gave me a whole big stack of them. I'm like, cool. So I hand them out to people all the time. Somebody will bring something up. They'll be disgruntled about something going on. I'm like, y'all need to read this. Let me tell you the good news. you know. Now I got to do what you got to do, Pilgrim. Get on that road. Exactly, Pat. All by design, yo. Exactly what I did today, EDC. Exactly what I did today. The computer here, yeah, they squashed me on that. Even though I'm Ethernet, my internet never disconnected. Like normally, like whenever we do Whiskey Wednesday or I do lives and my internet drops, no, the internet stayed. YouTube is what had the fun time. They had all kinds of fun, being wild and crazy guys. Yeah, they were doing it to me. But instead, what I did, I didn't shut it down. I just adapted, went on 5G, so they can't hit my router, my modem, my gateway, if as it is, and try and go through the regular ISP. No. I went to 5G. So, yep, keep sending them missiles, man, because I'll tell you what, it takes a lot more missiles to defend than it does to attack. Just saying. Just saying. That's why the Golden Dome that is talked about here is a great concept. It's a great concept. However, it's not going to be 100%. It's going to mitigate a lot of things if anything's launched at us, but it's not going to intercept everything because it takes far more missiles to defend, far more bullets to defend than it does to be on the offensive. Just saying. I'm sure my fellow mill boys will say it takes far more mags to defend an objective than it does to assault an objective. Just saying. So I keep sending. I keep sending. Shut me down on the laptop, I'll jump on the phone. Shut me down on the phone, I got like far more electronic devices here I can get back online with. No, and that's exactly it, EDC. You just got to keep sending the barrages, sending the volleys, and you'll get some through. You'll get some through. You always do. That's why I go strong when I talk about stuff. Generally, I don't do it here. I do it on the podcast because I can speak more freely about things, as listeners of the show can tell you. ACR listens to the podcast as well, and he can tell you the gloves come off. The gloves come off. It's not like you have to mince your words or say certain words a certain way or dance around and walk on eggshells. I just say what I say, and it is what I say. But yep, that's exactly it. I don't spend as much time being a musician anymore as what I used to, so I'm never going to get in that. One point in my life, I almost went and became a studio drummer years ago, but I gave up that whole thing back then and got away from percussion for better part of about 15 years. And I got back to it when I moved back to PA about 10 years ago. And I try to spend time with my beautiful kid over here, but I don't always get to hang out with him and do what I like to do with it. So thank you, Bad Dream. I appreciate that, man. Hey, we got to say what we got to say, which got me into speaking of the Bill of Rights and the amendments and so on and so forth. But I'm not going to be able to do that here in this space today, so I'm doing it there. The link is for the show is here on the channel, right in my about page thing. Well, I appreciate that, man. I really do. I put a lot of time and effort, and um, I have a there's a signal chat with some of us in there, um, and some of these guys get to see the things that I share in there that I see. I have a news channel in on the app that I share current events into this news channel. I've been doing kind of the same thing in that chat a little bit. Um, but it's one of those things you have to know what's actually going on, not what you're being fed. Because it's we always see the look over here and not over there. Look up while I'm doing on the down, look down when I'm doing the up. So we have to pay attention. We have to know how to disseminate information because a lot of it is BS propaganda, and a lot of it, believe it or not, and I've talked about this, I talked about it in previous episode of the podcast. A lot of it is AI driven. So you have to learn how to disseminate the information and see if it's real and legit. I have coached my local yeehaws on my merry band of misfits on how to disseminate information. I have thrown out stuff that is AI, stuff that is propaganda, everything else to see what they pick up on. And they are all doing very well with it. They understand how to look for certain things and suss it out, so to speak. And that's what we have to do with information now, depending where you're getting it from, your source, so on and so forth. Thank you, EDC. Definitely hit that like. ACR likes it when you tickle the like. I like it when you just smack it, give it a little pat. EDC's Toys looking for a Taurus 605 or a P322. I think my next thing. Woohoo, girls. That was Girls Gone Wild, dude. Real girls going, woo! I don't know if y'all ever heard that on a radio show or not. I think it was on Bob and Tom show. Real girls going, woo! But no, I'm not going to buy a new gun. I'm not. I'm not going to buy a new gun because I am focused on getting that Spider and getting a KLX 300. My focus gun wise is going to be on restoring and modernizing my 9130 because I love that gun. I love that round. That gun specifically is it's very important to me. Has sentimental value. It was a gift for my 21st birthday from a very close friend. Very close friend of the family. It's like an uncle to me, and actually got me into shooting into guns. I am going to restore that 9130 and make it a tack driver. And then after that, I'm kind of leaning into Follow me here, boys. Follow me here. Kind of leaning into not buying, but building my very own 45. I don't own a 45. 32, 22, 9 mils, own them. Don't have a 45, and I really want a 45. So I'm thinking of building my own 45. Building? Building? Metal? What do you mean build your own 45? Well, get all the parts and pieces that can be pre-manufactured that you're lawfully allowed to purchase. But then other things, maybe perhaps just I might make them on my own. I have done that in the past. My dad was a machinist and I learned of the trade very well from him. I think I might just build my own version of a G21, able to do all the things the G21 and all the accessories the G21 has, but thinking of potentially setting up my slot for the MOS configuration with suppressor height sights and a threaded barrel. WML on the bottom. Yeah, I'm thinking of doing that and kind of setting up my own trigger situation and so on and so forth. So like I said, I don't own a 45. I've wanted a 45. At some point in my life, I will own a 1911 to own a 1911 for Americana, right? I am a Glock guy through and through. I love my Glocks. There are some Smiths that I really like. There are some HKs I really like. There are some of every manufacturer out there that I do like. I'm going to say it, I do like the way a High Point CF380 shoots. I shot the thing, my one daughter, her one ex-boyfriend, had a CF380 he never shot, and I was trying to teach him how to shoot it. He's used to shooting a rifle, he never shot a pistol before, and I taught him how to shoot it. And he's trying to shoot, and he couldn't hit the broadside of the barn at 10 paces, right? I'm like, come on, man. Like, do it like this, adjusting his grip and how to sight down and do everything. I'm working with him on it for like a half hour. And he bought this pistol because he only had like $200, but he wanted something for protection, and I promote that. I don't care what kind of a gun it is, as long as you have something for personal protection. Fine. Train with it, be proficient in it, know it in and out, upside down, have that thing be your boo thing, right? He bought a High Point. It was what he could afford, and good on him for doing it, recognizing the fact that he needed something to protect himself. However, the boy wasn't just doing it. I said, let me see that thing. So I took it and I went weak-hand. I went left-handed since I'm right-handed. I went weak-handed, one hand, and I ping, knocked down 5 cans in 5 shots. And I'm like, dude, there's something going on with you, not the gun. If I can do it weak hand on a different grip angle or whatever, it shot and it hit accurate for me. It shot nice, it cycled nice. Didn't have a lot of snap because they have that big heavy slide on it. It shot okay. So as a High Point, I will say that the CF380 shot decent. Hey, Robert, with that weapon mounted light, if you got something 2K lumens and it's rechargeable, one thing I would recommend doing is check and make sure of the burn time on it, because a lot of times they'll push those LEDs and they'll get really hot and they burn through the batteries quick. So I'm not shitting on it, I'm just saying watch your battery life with that. I hope that makes sense. ACR, take care, brother. I will be talking to you later on, my friend. But I like all the different manufacturers. Me personally, I like the Glocks. They work good for me in all aspects. I will lean into Glocks then. So when I build the 45, I'm going to lean into Glock on that. I could see myself down the road, like I said, getting the 1911 for Americana. But like, if I were to get another pistol besides Glock to carry and use right now, right now, basing it on the guns I've shot, price per unit, what they offer, their durability, their longevity, user comfort, all of the things, I would lean into that M&P 2.0, that Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0. Those things are freaking solid. I know like 3 people that have them, and they all function flawless. They've been great. They're comfortable to shoot. They feel kind of like a Glock to me. They're running really, really nice. And none of the 3 guys have had an issue with any type of ammo they're trying to feed them. Aluminum, brass, steel, they don't care. They'll send it. And they send it rather accurately. So take it for what it's worth. My 2 cents, whatever it means. If I weren't doing a Glock, I would probably do a Smith 2.0. Just saying. I was leaning into the M17 M18s, but that kind of is backfiring on the whole signation thing. So there's a whole nother thing to that whole sig dilemma that is not necessarily gun related, that people don't see, they don't know. But I'll get into that on the podcast. I won't talk about it here because I get my pee smacked before. But yeah, if you're only, Robert, if you're only using that for CQ, I mean, it could be solid, it could be substantial. If it's like a bump in the night, throw it on and just do your thing, just light it up and blind them, burn their corneas as you're laying them to rest. Cool. Just be aware you might not want to keep it on charge if it's like kind of like the I like the Olights. Okay, no shame, no shame. I like the Olights. They got a lot of features that the other big boys don't have. And as I've told you guys before, I have torn apart all of those lights and seen what is in them, because I used to do stuff with Streamlight and with Surefire and with Black Diamond and with Innova and with Princeton Tech. And I can keep listing light manufacturers for like a day. Olight is doing the same thing as the other guys, except they're getting crapped on because the people that bought the lights left them on charge constantly and didn't disconnect them. Lawfully, welcome, sir. Magnetic chargers. It's a great thing. It's great. I don't have to take it off, put batteries in. I can just click it on there, and away we go. The light will turn from red to green whenever it is fully charged, and I'm good to go. On my 19X, I have not had to. I've had that light for about 5 years now, and I have had to charge it maybe a half dozen times. And that's my pistol that I go out and I train with, and I use it. I shoot in low light. I do all those things. I have my due diligence that I train in low light too. Not just in a well lit range. No, I hit that light and go for it too. After dark. Because, like you said, CQ, bump in the night, you're going to end up having to meet somebody at the other end of that light. So you better be proficient with shooting it in low light. It's they've done well for me. That one will probably do well for you for what you're using it for. Just be aware, at 2K in a small package like that, pushing out 2K lumens in a small package like that, when it comes to the driver that's basically sucking the juice from your battery to push to the diode to put the light out, it's probably going to generate some heat, and it's probably going to be just like sucking on those batteries. Just be aware. But if you're using it here and there occasionally, probably shouldn't give you any issues. For some, if you're putting something like that on something that you're shooting more, like what I shoot with my 19X, then it's probably going to suck a little bit more. DJ, welcome, brother. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Skull. Yeah, Lawfully and DJ, you guys missed my first portion of the live when I was on the laptop and I was talking about the Bill of Rights. Through a conversation that I was having with some of the boys, we started talking about like the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and so on and so forth, and how many people don't even understand. And so I was going to come onto this space and I was going to talk about the Bill of Rights today. And talking with Bad Dream a little bit and inspired by his video he put out yesterday, I kind of incorporated some of that into the podcast episode for this week. Episode 63, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. I am set to record it here today at some point. However, YouTube didn't like me talking about the Bill of Rights. My internet didn't drop as it classically does. My internet stayed intact. Everything was still running. My meter was fully strong. Like everything was showing up 5x5 on my end. But all of a sudden, everybody else started getting the buffering. And it said, oops, it looks like you have an unstable connection. You're offline. I'm like, no, I'm not. I pulled up like another 2 or 3 web pages and I was surfing them perfectly fine. And I was actually dialed into my own stuff on it and it was still going. Like my internet's not dropping. They smacked my pee. They didn't like me talking about it. So I ended up diverting from that. I'm going to do a dedicated podcast to the Bill of Rights now because of these guys. And so I jumped over to the phone to make sure on 5G, not Wi-Fi, to make sure I can still come out and do my live today for whatever it's worth. Which isn't much. I'm just an idiot. I'm just a domesticated moron with no hair and a beard talking about stuff. Wearing a Boondock Saints shirt and being an idiot. So, somewhere else. Did a little bit of a gear talk about today after a long-winded talk about buying a motorcycle and a 3-wheel, buying a Spider. So remember, Sir Bobbert Hamathe, find that email. Shoot me an email, dude. I need to discuss something with you. And yeah, Mando says hi, everybody. He's still being Mando. Calls me Friday as we had to pop into the grocery store to grab some stuff. My dude calls me and I'm like in the middle of like doing stuff. So I didn't answer his call. He texts me immediately and is like, I need help, with a laughing, crying face. I'm like, oh God. Immediate face palm, right? Wife's like, what? And I'm like, it was Ian. He says he needs help. He said it with a laughing, crying face, so I knew he wasn't like in dire need, like he was like laying in a ditch or something like that, bleeding out or something. He wouldn't have done that. He would have called me back again incessantly. Well, my dude, when I called him back when I got to the car, because you never know what's going to fly out of his mouth. I got to the car. He's like, yeah, G, I need you to come hold this blanket for me. And I'm like, whoa. Wait a minute. What am I holding a blanket for? He's like, well, they had foxes coming, a fox coming after their chickens. So they set out a live trap. And his dad baited it with cat food before they left to go somewhere and so on and so forth. So they ended up trapping a skunk. Not a fox, a skunk. And he was afraid of getting sprayed, so he wanted me to hold a blanket up while he grabbed the trap and walk while he's holding the trap over the blanket so we don't get sprayed. I'm like, my dude, why don't you just get like a long freaking stick and like stick it through the trap and like pick it up and carry it so it's away from you, and then you can like have the blanket in front of you like a shield or whatever. He's like, yeah, it's not that type of trap. I can't do that. I'm like, well, then rig it up so you can the next time, right? So my dude wanted me to come hold a blanket so he can finger fuck this skunk and get it in the back in the bed of his dad's truck to haul it out to the game lands to release it live. I'm like, well, is it like a big skunk? Is it a baby skunk? What are you dealing with? It's just a baby. It'll be all right. It probably doesn't even have its stinker in yet. And I'm like, all right, whatever, cool. He's like, no, 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 it's a full on skunk. It's a full. I'm like, oh, well, why don't you just like take your 22, tape a freaking soda bottle over it, and dispatch it? He's like, no, I'm not going to kill it. Okay, well, call the game commission. Well, no, I want to release it out into the game lands and blah, blah. I'm like, dude, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? So we ended up taking and talking him through the process of like being safe about this, because he then realized that it's actually just a little tiny baby skunk. It's not a full on skunk. So he ends up picking it up. He's like, oh man, this thing's actually pretty chill. It's just like kind of just like laying there, just like looking at me like one of the cats. And I'm like, yeah, it's probably not able to spray you, or it's probably not gonna spray you. So gently take it and talk to it and be nice to it, and like maybe offer it a couple treats and set it in the back of the truck. Probably get like one of the old crusty Rubbermaid totes to put the trap in so it doesn't spray anything in his dad's bed of his truck he just bought. Take it out, be nice to it and be kind to it, unleash the trap and let it out, and go about its way. Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, well, let me know how you made out. Okay. Didn't hear anything back from him all night. 3/4 of the next day, and he's like, just text me, what up, man? You're still alive? The snake didn't, or the skunk didn't get you? Oh, no, no, no. It was a baby. It was cool. It was just chill. I just took it out and let it go, and it just like walked out of the trap, was like, see ya. And it walked. Why didn't you let me know? I'm here like waiting to hear back from him. Like, what do we do? What do we do? What's going on? Nah. Hee hoo. But he says hello, guys. He is set to join me on a podcast for reasons. We are diving into a very, very controversial topic on that episode. And I'm not even going to mention it here, but it's very controversial. And yeah, I need his autistic schizophrenic mind doing the research he's doing while I do the research I'm doing to come together to compile everything for that episode. But he will be joining me there. This week we will have one of my local boys who is also a YouTuber. Doesn't have a very big channel, only a couple videos out, which I'm hoping this inspires him to do more content, because he would be an amazing contributor to everything that everybody else is doing. But he's a very busy guy, and I understand, why he doesn't have the time to do what he could do here. But I think you guys would love his content based on the fact that like he's right in line with everything else and everybody else here. Y'all would love it. He's going to be joining us. There is another channel that is actually, he's got more subscribers than I have. He started after I did. He has more subscribers than I have, and I think it's just because he is like that much cooler than me. But he is a very good friend of mine. Love the dude dearly. Is like extended family. Also one of my local yeehaw boys. Well Done Homestead. He will be joining us here at some point here as we can work this out. ACR has a few guys on tap. He's kind of rolling it around a bit. Who wants to do what? Some of you guys have been in the chat, and you understand there's a few guys here in the chat that are actually going to be joining us for Whiskey Wednesdays. So we're kind of, alternating back and forth of who's coming on and when they're coming on, as schedules permit. That is always with guests. We always try to do it as schedules permit. Sometimes we have to like double up with it just being me and Andrew, just doing dumb stuff, saying about dumb stuff. But other times we can actually hit topics and we can actually get guests on. So we're going to do that as we can do that. So, guys, I thank you for joining me here today. I am going to jump into getting that podcast recorded and released. I also have a plethora of stuff to do here today. And I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. What's left of it, at least, anyway. And I hope you have an awesome week. I'm here today, Sunday, just to kind of boost you a little bit to get you through that Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday till you get to Whiskey Wednesday. Once you get to Whiskey Wednesday, you can make it because you're on the downhill slide then. You just hit that cruise control button and you'll make it to Friday. Probably whenever Andrew's doing another Foam and Friends Friday Live, right? Twin, he's back. He's back. So you're going to have him getting you started in the mornings. You're going to have Prepared Citizens getting you started in the mornings. You're going to have TMT there popping in here and there, getting his lives late at night there. Help you get to bed because you got to listen to TMT's live, right? And my boy Lawfully there, he going to be there too. Yeah. So we're doing a collective group exercise to help get everyone through the weeks. Then I'll start you back out on Sunday and help get you going. So join in next time here, Whiskey Wednesday, when we talk about things, stuff, and whatnot with a guest. So, Robert, yes, I'm glad I have your curiosity. We're going to get into that whole thing with Mando here. I'll talk about that offline a little bit, but I'm trying to leave some mystery out there with it because, like I said, it's something that we can't really talk about in these spaces. Some channels do, and they end up having some issues here and there. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it over there where I got all the free reign to do the things and say the things, right? So you guys have a great rest of your day. Go do some stuff. Spend some time with the family. Get some things done. And yeah, be safe. Be trained. Keep going after the things. As Twin says, always forward. As I say, keep rocking. Do your thing. And until next time, my friends, metal out.